Well, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian, Pace reporting live here at the 2021 Downtown Jamaica Jazz Festival, presented by the Jamaica Performing Arts Center here in downtown Queens. As you know, New York City is now reopening, and the music scene is definitely popping. And tonight here on the Pace Report, I'm documenting as well as profiling the music scene. And tonight here at the 2021 Downtown Jamaica Jazz Festival, jazz vocalist Sachal Vasandani is performing brand new music from his brand new album, of which he collaborated with pianist Romain Collin, entitled Midnight Shelter. Now, this album is a duo album, and these guys took refuge in music during this COVID-19 pandemic last year and recorded it. And now you're going to hear some songs, especially revisioned. I'm talking about classics like Blackbird by Lennon and McCartney, as well as Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. I had a chance to sit down with these guys briefly to talk about how these guys came together to record this project, as well as talk about what the pandemic has done to them musically and spiritually. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Mr. Sachal Vasandani and pianist Romain Collin live here at the 2021 Downtown Jamaica Jazz Festival, presented by the Jamaica Performing Arts Center here on the Pace Report here in downtown Queens.
Don't tell me anymore what happened way back then. Before we first met, how could you be having such a good time without me there beside you? And it just figures now, I only figured it out. You are not even letting me there, letting me in to guide you. I love you more. I cannot reason with what I cannot even know. Obsessing over every season. It's true, I'm jealous. I feel so helpless, so stop talking to me now. Let me imagine how we might have met in that instant. That instant.
During this pandemic, I spoke to a lot of musicians by FaceTime, and it was weird. And I told everybody that you guys are going to be making more money when you come out of this pandemic. And also, the art that you guys create is going to be so much more relevant and more pertinent than when you guys were doing it before the pandemic. And I'm listening to this project, and I'm like, this is the most intimate, this is the most beautiful, and this is the most quaint project that I have heard in, I would say, the last couple of years.
Yeah, man.
How did this get together?
Yeah, look, you put the nail on the head, man. We had been sitting cooped up. Ain't nobody playing. And I'm really fortunate, besides being a friend, Roman lives close.
Neighbors.
Yeah, so when he got back from Iceland, we were sitting outside at the time, because you can't go inside another person's house. And honestly, we were bitching and moaning over like a bottle of wine or whatever. And it was like, can't play, this is crazy, what's up with masks? Also, people are dying. But, fast forward, that we had a lot of those kind of sessions, and it's like, okay, this is a cool hang, but let's play,
Right.
It's what we do. And then that turned into, well, if we're playing, why not make a record? And then it turned into, well, if we're playing and making a record, let's channel some of this energy that we're feeling, which is up and down. And let's pick repertoire and textures and keys that feel like it's the right moment to share them. And honestly, man, it's just like, I think there was a big spirit of like, this is just for us, you know, like let it hang out in a bit, you know? And so, yeah, that was the spirit. It still is, frankly.
And you know, I noticed you're the captain of the ship.
Amen.
You're the one you're the one anchoring this. I mean, Sachal is really, really honing in. This is I've seen this guy perform big band. I've seen this guy do so many variations of performances, but this is like in your face, uncut funk.
Yeah.
You're driving this. And I noticed today, this evening, I've noticed both of you. He's following your lead. How do you feel about all of this going into the studio recording this?
Oh man, I mean, I think in the studio it happened so organically. I don't think I even computed any of it. I mean, by default, like I am the band because there's only one guy besides the singer, you know. And the piano being what it is, the piano is basically a full orchestra, right? So this is playing solo piano plus one, essentially, right? So I have that responsibility in the music, I guess, but none of it has ever been like computed in a very conscious manner, I guess. You know, in the studio, like man, like that tunes we weren't even sure we we're gonna do until we got in the studio. We didn't even think we we're gonna make a record in the first place, which I think is important to mention, because that it gave a certain feeling to the music. You know, when you got no agenda. What is it? I read, I think Keith Jarrett said somewhere there was in an interview, he said no musician should be a professional musician, in the sense that we shouldn't have any responsibility other than just trying to serve the music and have fun with it, essentially, and just be present to it. Whatever happens, happens. It's almost like it shouldn't be a concern to anyone, I think, in a way, for the output to be truly honest. And I think that's really what happened. Like, honestly, we hadn't played in so long. You know, shedding is not the same. You're home, you're playing your instrument, it's great, I'm grateful for it, I always will be, but like, you haven't had a chance to communicate your emotions through music with another human being and have that communication that we're so used to having as jazz musicians, you know, improvisers or whatever. So all of a sudden we get to be able to speak and communicate. So every note is like, it feels like every note just rings, right? Every note, like Sachal was singing, would be like, oh man, like sounds. And he's got such an amazing voice. And on top of that, everything feels so fresh. It's like blank canvas. You know, I had just come back from 3 months in Iceland, isolated in a cabin, which is a whole other story. But like, for me, it's like extra like, wow, you know, human beings and sounds, and it just feels amazing. So then all I'm trying to do is play sounds that make sense with the sounds that are already present in the room. That's really the only way I look at it. Then, you know, if we dissect it a little bit, then I guess by default, yeah, you know, like the piano's got certain responsibilities as far as harmony and bass and time and whatnot, whatever. But we're all like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm leading anything. I feel like it's pretty much loose and sort of push and pull, and it's like whatever happens, you know.
Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. That light I never know. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. But I wish there was something you would do or say to try to make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway, so don't think twice, it's alright. Ain't no use in calling out my name, girl, like you never done before. And it ain't no use in calling out my name, girl, I can't hear you anymore. I'm a thinking and a wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, She wanted my soul, so don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey, babe. Where I'm going, I can't tell. Two goodbyes, too good a word, babe. So I'll just say fare thee well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. Just kinda wasted my precious time. So don't think twice, it's alright.
Musically, you guys are diametrically all over the place. You guys are doing Dylan. You guys are doing Abby Lincoln. You're doing, I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many textures in this, but the songs that you're conveying, along with him playing the piano, how did you guys select these songs?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, we did put some time into it. Lyrics have to be on point, always, because it's not, when we think about this even now, you hear a texture, right? And you love that texture. And I'm not, it's in jazz for sure, but let's say you like your Radioheads and your Bon Ivers and stuff where texture really matters. We don't have the luxury of a lot of those textures, right? We have all the beautiful sounds that he can create out of the one instrument and my voice, which means that everybody is going to be focused on the lyrics. So the lyrics better be powerful. Thankfully, there's a lot of great songs. And as we were looking for covers, because that was the spirit, like, hey, let's do a couple originals if it works out, but let's find some covers to do. And what started happening organically is we would share cover songs with one another. And when we started to hang our hat on different lyrics, it was like, or different melodies or different textures or things that he felt like he could bring something out of. It kind of ended up in these funny few buckets, like older, like a Dylan or a Nick Drake. Things associated with jazz, like Wayne or Abby Lincoln, or even Riverman, which is also Nick Drake, but also Andy Bay.
But it's also kind of like...
Andy Bay was the one that taught me that one.
Really? You
got to check out a 96 recording of his... I'm forgetting the name of the album right now. But
was it Blues and Bay?
No, it was... forgetting the name of the record right now, but Riverman is on that record. I know what the cover, it's like a big picture of Andy Bay. Anyways, so, and then a couple modern covers, like ones from this summer or the last couple of years or whatever. And then a couple of originals. So it kind of worked out in a natural kind of thing.
I was going to go more for Tom Waits. Because Tom Waits could do, he could go to straight ahead and do, I mean, he could, and actually anything he interprets, it's like, okay, you know, I'm cool with this. And
my dad's a big fan of Tom Waits. My dad is a huge fan.
And he's a great interpreter of everything.
For that kind of thing, he puts his little
yes
on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple of those cats that can do that. So yeah, but it just happened to fall into these kind of handful of different categories.
Now I'm assuming you guys are getting ready, now that the city, New York is reopening, much of the country and the world is reopening. How are you guys going to present this to the world? Because I know that you guys got to go on the road with this. This is on vinyl too.
Yeah.
There's another great thing we'll get into in just a second, but I know you guys have to be excited that you don't have to necessarily perform this with a full band.
Right.
but you guys can just do it by yourselves.
Exactly. No, I think for me, and we've been talking about this a lot, is finding the venue like this Soapbox Gallery. Could be big, could be small, but it needs to be intimate. You know what I mean? So we can present this intimacy.
Yeah. That and also what's exciting to me is that talking about back to your previous question about who's leading or whatever, but it's I still believe it's a very organic process when we're playing.
Yeah.
And I honestly I'd be very curious to see what happens after like date 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm not very good at keeping things the same way. It's not in my nature. So I get very quickly like, okay, yeah, how can I turn this around a little bit or whatever. I know Sachal is like super loose as well. It's like, I mean, honestly, every time I play with Sach, like, even if it's a gig with his band or if it's a duo thing, it's always been like, yeah, whatever, let's see what happens, you know. And I think it's an important spirit, you know. It's important to remain very open to what could happen. Otherwise, not much probably will happen, you know. So it's cool. I'm actually really curious to see what, you know, because I love playing solo piano, and I've given a bunch of solo piano performances over the years, and it very, you know, like anytime Sash is not singing, then there's an interlude or an intro, an outro, whatever. It's like an opportunity to just open up. Like, I mean, sky's the limit. You can just go anywhere. Then he's gonna jump in. And it's like, so yeah, I feel like if we did like a proper tour, but you know, the tour, the songs will be whatever they are. But I'm sure they would work, you know.
Oh, girl, I cried so many times, and I can't believe that I can't seem to do nothing right. Well, making you happy is my only dream. No matter how unreal it may seem, girl, I believe, I surely do believe you're leaving me. Oh, baby, I'm the only one to know you're leaving me. Baby, I'm the only one to know you're leaving me. Baby, I'm the only one to know. Baby, I'm the only one to know you're leaving me. Baby, I'm the you're leaving me. Baby, I'm the only you're leaving me.
I can't wait to get the copy of this on vinyl. I mean, I'm so glad that America and the world right now is going back to vinyl.
Yeah.
I mean, because it sounds so much different than it does on CD or a digital file. What made you guys decide to put this on vinyl?
I got to give all credit to the record label that put this out, Edition Records out of UK, and it was part of their plan. We gave these masters to them, and it's part of their plan. I think they do it with everybody, but it must be capturing the mood, the current mood, like you're saying, in the world right now. And I'm cool with it. Now CDs, I don't know. I don't know anything about CDs anymore. You know, I'm sure there's some folks that really dig them, and I think Edition knows those folks, you know. But Vinyl is kind of hip, man. We got ours coming shortly, and I'm pretty geeked to check it out, you know. But man, it's cool. I've been seeing folks picking them up and posting about it, and that's what's up.
Especially for that project, I think it's like
This makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's almost like a little fireplace.
It's
Just throw the needle. You're like, you know what I mean? Like you feel that way about vinyl anyway, because it's mechanical. That's the thing about it. It's not electronic. It's like purely mechanical. Like you drop the needle, you can actually hear it. You can hear it like, on the vinyl, and it's just amplified. It's an amazing experience.
No, I'm thinking full throttle. I'm thinking woman's coming over, I'm cooking dinner, we gonna drink some wine, you know.
You want to know something? You're not the first person who said that. The guy who runs the label said kind of the same thing.
Oh man, it's a no-brainer. This is going on the turntable, and
exactly.
We're gonna have a great night.
Very nice.
We live to serve.
But
you know, like when we started this thing, this gig tonight, the lady who was interviewing us said something similar about her impressions, and I have to say, man, like, maybe because the goal of this project was so straight ahead, so simple, that it really feels like it's connecting with people in the way I think that we intended. And that, ever since I was in, like, my very first voice lesson, my voice teacher had told me something that stayed with me, which is you sing, and what leaves your body, you don't know how it hits the audience. You don't know. Even if they quote unquote like it, they might like it in ways that are endemic only to them, right? You like it for this reason, he likes it for that reason. So it doesn't matter if they like it or don't like it, it's just what you intend, you put it out in the world. And he related a story where he's an opera singer, those were my first teachers. He was thinking, as he was singing the opera, about like one particular like scene or one particular cloud, like a bird in a cloud, something like that. Someone came up to him after him and was like, you know, when you were singing that passage, I saw in my mind's eye a bird in a cloud. You know, like, and that was just like those symbiotic moments. But that was one in a million. Mostly, like, if we listen to Return to Forever, if we listen to Keith Jarrett, if we listen to Wayne Shorter, you and I might be digging it, but deep down we're going to have personal experiences that are much different than what Wayne intended. All this to say, it's like, it's kind of cool. It's not a prereq, it's not like a requirement, but it's kind of cool for this lady to be like, I heard something like this, like a bird in a cloud, and I was like, you know what? I was singing about a bird in a cloud. It's kind of a nice moment. That doesn't happen too often. I think it's happening a little bit with this record.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace reporting live here at the 2021 Downtown Jamaica Jazz Festival here in downtown Queens, presented by the Jamaica Performing Arts Center. I'd like to personally thank and congratulate the talented Sachal Vasandani as well as Romain Collin for their time. Make sure you go out and buy their brand new CD, Midnight Shelter, which is available on iTunes, Amazon.com, and CD Baby, and it is now available on vinyl. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at the Jamaica Performing Arts Center and the organizers of this year's 2021 Downtown Jamaica Jazz Festival. People, let's get the likes, shares, and subscribes up to the Pace Report, these videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, as well as visit my website, thepacereport.com, for my weekly column, as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll definitely make you move. Till next time, peace.
I'll be standing here with someone new. There'll be other songs to sing, but there will never be another you. There's gotta be some other lips that I'm gonna kiss, but they won't thrill me like yours used to do. Now I may dream a million dreams, but how can they come true? If there will never ever be, if there will never ever be, if there will never ever be Thank you so much. You